Still endure pretense. For decades, American and Chinese minds met in the spirit of open discovery. The principle was simple. Shared knowledge accelerates progress for all. From fighting pandemics to
But as geopolitical landscapes shifted, the very foundation of this trust began to crack. Whispers in Washington, fear centers on dual-use research, innovations born in civilian labs that could be repurposed to give a strategic rival a military edge.
But many in the scientific community see this as a dangerous overreaction. They argue that walling off research is an attack on progress itself.
Cutting ties means more than just losing collaborators. It means losing the world's brightest minds, who may choose to innovate elsewhere.
This is the heart of the debate, finding the delicate balance between protecting national secrets and fostering the open inquiry that fuels technological leadership. Nowhere is this conflict clearer than in artificial intelligence, an algorithm designed for medical.
Former intelligence officials warn that open labs are unguarded front doors. They argue state-backed programs act
on Britain.
But researchers on the front lines say progress in AI doesn't happen in isolation. It relies on a global...
This same dilemma echoes in biotechnology. Gene editing tools like CRISPR could cure diseases, but that same power...
Scientists argue that global challenges like climate change and future pandemics don't recognize borders. Walling off research is way.
Caught in the middle are thousands of students and researchers. Their careers are now uncertain. Their vital...
There's an economic cost as well. U.S. universities, among the global hub for talent, rely on internet. So, is there a middle ground? Many propose a scalpel instead of a sledgehammer, strengthening research security and vetting protocols.
This isn't the first time science has crossed an ideological divide. Even at the height of the Cold War, U.S.
America's tech giants are watching closely. Their dominance is built on attracting the world's best minds.
Meanwhile, China is not standing still. Fueled by U.S. restrictions, Beijing is pouring record sums. Beyond official policy, a chilling effect has taken hold. Fear of accusation is causing scientists.
Ultimately, Nobel laureates argue that science has no nationality. The laws of physics and biology are universal.
And so, the partnership that defined decades of progress is at a breaking point. The debate in Congress is more than this. One path leads to a world of shared challenges and pooled intellect. The other leads to one of scientific silos. In the quest for security, the critical question remains: what is the greater risk? The potential theft of an idea?
This debate isn't theoretical. Multiple bills are circulating in Congress, proposing everything from outright bans on...
Fighting back are university consortiums and lobbyists. They argue that lawmakers are using a blunt instrument for a delicate problem. This isn't just an American dilemma. Allies in the Five Eyes intelligence network are facing identical pressures, debating Proponents of openness point to countless breakthroughs, like joint cancer research that has led to new treatments. But the security risks are not imaginary. Declassified reports detail numerous cases where US-funded research was... A key challenge is defining sensitive research. A fundamental physics breakthrough seems harmless today, but could be the fallout extends to critical supply chains. Limiting research collaboration could slow innovation in areas like...
Professors now speak of a reverse brain drain. They describe brilliant Chinese colleagues, once core to their teams.
The debate often misses a crucial detail. Open research isn't just about published papers. The real advantage, policy experts are exploring research firewalls, a tiered system that protects the most sensitive projects while keeping foundational science open. Critics of restrictions warn that if the US vacates its role as the global hub of science, it doesn't stop collaboration, it just reroutes it. There's also a cost to the next generation of American innovators. Science is global, and isolating them from diverse frontiers. The cosmos offers a perfect metaphor. While US law largely prohibits space cooperation with China,
insistence. Some argue that collaboration is also a channel for influence. By engaging, the US can promote international
This is the paradox at the heart of modern science. The very key that unlocks human progress.
Prepared their praise. The path forward will be decided not in labs, but in hearing rooms and executive offices.
One impulse, to discover and share, is as old as humanity. The other, to work. The choice isn't simply about China and the US. It is about whether humanity's greatest challenges will be met with suspicion. Perhaps no field better encapsulates this dilemma than the race for quantum supremacy. The layers. The promise is utopian. Computers powerful enough to cure diseases, design new materials, and solve humanity.
But this same power has a terrifying military application.
For years, American and Chinese physicists, often educated at the same universities, have co-authored the foundational research.
From a security perspective, this isn't collaboration, it's technology transfer. Security officials argue that every joint...
But the physicists involved say this view is dangerously simplistic. They argue that quantum mechanics is so delayed.
The result is that top quantum talent, often educated and mentored for years in American universities, now face an uncertain future.
The irony is stark. The irony of stark. In the name of security, the US may be fueling a reverse brain drain. The quantum race, with its immense promise and parallel peril, is a microcosm of the larger challenge. The same instinct. At the heart of Congress's concern is asymmetric competition. They argue that China's state-directed system allows it to fully...
This perceived threat prompted the Department of Justice to act, launching the controversial China Initiative.
The initiative led to a wave of high-profile arrests. Esteemed scientists, many of them American citizens, suddenly found their careers destroyed.
But civil rights groups and academic organizations sounded the alarm, arguing the program fostered a climate of fear.
After numerous failed prosecutions and intense criticism, the Justice Department eventually shut down the initiative.
But the damage was done. The initiative left a legacy of mistrust between the federal government and the academic community.
The collapse of the initiative forced a reset in Washington. Lawmakers now concede that a sledgehammer approach.
One proposed solution is the rise of research security offices on campus, internal teams designed to help.
But many scientists see these new offices as just more red tape. They worry that bureaucratic...
University presidents are now caught in a difficult balancing act. They must satisfy federal security mandates to protect.
This struggle is not unique to the United States. Key allies in Europe and Asia are also debating how to balance collaboration with caution.
And no terms. The fear in Western capitals is that a scientific decoupling won't isolate China, but will instead create a...
America's top corporations are also raising concerns. They warn that cutting off access to the world's largest talent pool is first at least. Ultimately, supporters of open research make a simple point: the hardest problems, from cancer to climate change.
As the real-world costs become clear, in lost tuition, abandoned projects and diminished prestige,
the emerging consensus is a strategy of guarded engagement, finding ways to collaborate on global challenges while rigorous. Climate change could be the ultimate test case, a challenge so vast it requires a global network of shared data.
Slowly, carefully, some connections are being re-established. Not with the unfiltered openness of the past, but through
In fields like artificial intelligence, some argue collaboration on safety and ethics is essential.
This highlights the role of science diplomacy. When official channels are frozen, shared scientific goals can provide...
From unquestioned collaboration to deep suspicion, and now to a search for a difficult new...
For a generation of scientists with ties to both nations, this is more than policy. It's a personal crisis.
The choice, therefore, represents two distinct futures: one of shared problems and pooled intellect, or one of science.
In the quest for national security, the final question remains: what is the greater risk? The potential theft of an idea?
Beyond silicon and circuits,
The debate rages in the code of life itself, biotechnology.
The COVID-19 pandemic provided a stark reminder. Viruses don't carry passports. Rapid, global...
But intelligence agencies warn this same technology is the ultimate dual-use risk. The tools that can engineer a cure... This puts brilliant researchers in an impossible position. A scientist working on a cure for cancer might now see their...
Security hawks point to China's official plans, which label biotechnology a strategic pillar. They argue collaboration...
Notogen. But biologists counter that this is a false distinction. The same fundamental research into how cells work is...
So in biotech, the stakes are existential. The choice between openness and security is not just about economics. This entire debate challenges the very nature of science, which has always been a cumulative human enterprise. And so, policymakers stand at a historic crossroads. The path they choose will not only define America's interests. Proponents of caution offer a stark warning. In a great power contest, the price of... But the scientific community asks a different question. What is the cost of a discovery that is never made? In the end, this is not a debate about abstract policies, but about people. It is about whether we see a young scientist...
The question is, whether knowledge is a flame to be shielded and weaponized, or a light meant to illuminate the path for everyone.